The next part of this project asks you to make a couple of graphs. And the first graph you're going to make is on the magnitude of your earthquakes. Now, magnitude refers to how strong or how big your earthquake was. We use a scale of 1 to 10. If your earthquake has a magnitude of 2.5 or less, you usually don't even feel those earthquakes. Those are so small, we don't even feel them, but a computer would detect them. It's not until you get up until the 4s or the 5s that we can feel those earthquakes, but they cause minor damage. Earthquakes that have a 5.5 to a 6.0 would have slight damage to buildings. 6.1 to 6.9, you may have some major damage. 7.0 to 7.9, that's a major earthquake causing serious damage. And then anything 8 or greater, you're talking about total devastation. Okay, there have only been 5 earthquakes recorded in history that have had a magnitude of 9.0 or greater. The most recent earthquake happened in 2004, and it registered a 9.1 on the Richter scale, and that created a tsunami in the Indian Ocean. Okay, so large earthquakes are very rare. They don't happen all that often. But down here, these lower magnitudes happen all the time, and that's what you're going to graph. So what you're going to do is come up to your data, and you're going to look at your magnitude, which is this column right here. And you're going to look at these numbers and tally them up. And then you're going to tally them up into a data table right here. So on your magnitude graph page, you're going to add up how many of these ranges of magnitudes do you have. So based on my data, I have 0 earthquakes in the 0 to 1.9 range. When I look at my data, I actually have 15 earthquakes in this 2.0 to 3.9 range. Those are small earthquakes. We don't even feel those earthquakes. 4.0 to 5.9, there are actually 5 earthquakes in my list that have that magnitude scale. Okay, so and these are earthquakes that are large enough to be felt. And then the rest of these are 0 and 0. What we're going to do is turn this now into a graph. So to do that, a graph will appear here. So if you just use your mouse and click, you will see this box appear and this little drop-down menu. And you want to click on that and click on Open Source. Once this opens, we have a data table already created for you. All you need to do is type in your numbers. Come on. There we go. 0, and then 15, and then 5, and then 0 and 0. And that graph should appear right here. And here it is. Okay. So here's our line graph. I do need to insert my title, my y-axis label, and my x-axis label. To enter in that information, you double-click on the graph, and a little pop-up menu should appear. Here we go. And you're going to click on Customize, and then click on Chart Axis and Titles. Okay, chart title, you need to come up with a very descriptive chart title. Make sure you also include the name of your location. So I would need to have a Caribbean in my title. I'm not going to title it Caribbean, but that location needs to be in my title because my earthquakes all take place in the Caribbean. Same thing, I need to go down to my horizontal axis, which is my x-axis, and I need to label that with what that information is across the bottom. And then the same thing with my horizontal axis, or my vertical axis, that's my y-axis. And I need to come up with a good title that describes what those numbers mean on the y-axis. When you are done, your graph here should be complete. And then if you hop back over to the project, you're going to see this update button right here. If you click on update, it will take a second, but then your graph should appear in this space right here after it updates.